Peace and love, family. Welcome to another powerful discussion with your sister, Dr. Maat. Oh, man, I am here. I'm in the building with my good brother, God Killer, a.k.a. Bobby West. What's going on with you, God Killer?
Oh, what's going on, sis? How you doing? How you feeling?
I'm
Thank you
doing
for
all
being on
right.
the platform. You know it's been a lovely day. I enjoyed earlier situation we had. I appreciate that.
Speak
And
on it. Speak on it.
you had me talking to your class, man. That was a beautiful thing. It keeps me on my P's and Q's. It helps me work on the way I present for the public, to give a great example for the young babies. And I'm just proud of you. And I'm actually proud of your students. And it surprises me every time that they say, we didn't know that. Because we talk about these things so much so that it's just, it seems to be the norm. But you recognize when you're in a situation full of intelligent young brothers and sisters, when they haven't heard certain information and you can back it up and with the scholarly material that the world has put forth, then that's big because there's not going to be any clowning around you. We're not going to come with the clown information. You're not putting your good name on that. That you're not doing that. And I better be well spoken when I'm doing it. Absolutely.
Oh, brother, thank you so much for coming on. Like the students, they thoroughly enjoyed you, and I think you and I've been doing this for the past couple of years.
Yep.
I think we started it spring 2020, around
Yep.
that time when the pandemic hit, and so
Yes.
you've been, you figure this is the fifth semester we've been doing this, where you
Yes.
will come in. And so the class that he's referring to, family. So over at Morgan, I teach a class called Introduction to Electrical Engineering. And so when the students come in on the first day, they learn about engineering. What is engineering? And then what is electrical engineering? So then on the second lecture, when they come in again, the second lecture is about the African origins of STEM, because it's important that our babies know, and we're saying babies, we know these people are 18, 19, 18, 19-year-old adults. But to me and Ankh, they're our babies, right? And so, but it's
Right.
important for them to know our contributions to STEM or to STEAM. And so today, brother Ankh, brother Bobby West, he came on. He came on the platform. We had a Zoom meeting, and it was about 50 students on, and we talked about it says yes, it passed. Okay, yeah, 50 students came on, and he did a marvelous job. And so, brother Ankh, and even to the point where now the chair is, supporting this whole endeavor. And so sooner or later, we'll be flying you out to speak to the school instead of just like my class or just another professor's class. We'll bring you out to talk to the school because it's very important that we get this information out. I want to salute the brother on the platform. Please, brother, don't if I butcher your name, please, correct me. I asked you before we went live. I said, how do I pronounce it? Is it Mashia or Mashia? Or how do I pronounce your name? Oh, I'm sorry. I got you. I have you muted. How do I pronounce your name, brother?
It's Mashiach.
Mashia. Now, I probably won't have the I won't have that, but I could do Mashia. It's the Baltimore lazy tongue. Here we,
It's
with
all good.
Baltimore, we have the lazy tongue. So Mashia. Okay.
Man.
Okay, so all right, brother. And so go ahead and introduce yourself to the listening audience.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace and blessings to everybody, and the mercy of Allah be upon you all. Uh, I am Mashiach Abdul Moorish American national, indigenous to the land, Powhatan ancestry. So I'm here to clarify the meaning of nature and God, or really to clarify the meaning of God.
No, no, no. We remember you responded on the post where we talked about why we
Mm-hmm.
study Kemet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so tonight we're here because you made the claim that on that particular post that Kemet is not the oldest civilization.
Oh no,
It's
I think that's a different person. I was commenting on the word God.
you a different person, so I must have sent somebody the wrong
No,
link. Hold
no,
on, let me look.
it was the right one because I had commented on and you told me to read the definition of God when I came on, the Merriam-Webster's definition.
Oh, so okay, so you're not that brother. I thought you was the American brother. Okay, so you
Oh,
said, well, that's fine because we could roll with it because God is, I got the God the killer in the building, so he don't even
Ah,
God killer chew you up. So So your argument
Yeah.
is that nature means God, right? Because
Yeah.
I clearly said in a post, and I know what post you're talking about. So I'm gonna have to change the title to this broadcast. So let me go back. This
Oh, well,
is
let's
the
get it out there.
video. This is the video, brother Unc, that he's talking about. I want to bring
Hmm.
that up. So in this video, and you and I were in New York, by the way, brother Unc, when we made this video. We were in New York, and I know you're gonna remember it. You're gonna say, okay, I remember that video. So I get which one you are, brother. So you wasn't the one that talked about how America is the oldest civilization. I thought that was you. All
Well,
right.
I'm gonna still agree with that, but yeah.
Oh, let's build on that. Well, we'll build on both tonight then. So
All right.
let's start with the netter. We'll start there with netter being, you said it's the translation is God. And even in this video that I'm going to play, Ankh and I clearly said that it didn't mean God. The white
Okay.
dude that translated it, he said that he didn't know he said it was a mistranslation. If I, correct me if I'm wrong, brother Ankh. I think he did admit that that wasn't a correct translation. But this is the video that the
Yeah, he
brother
was
is
saying it's
talking
too
about.
old. He said it was too old.
Yeah, so here's this is the video that he's speaking about family. I put up a video and called "Did You Know?" and I said that Netcher is not an Egyptian word for God. And so this brother came on the post and he said, "Dr. Maat, you're wrong. It does mean God." So let me play the video for you, family. All right, let me get the sound going. Uh, Foreigners and the dead. So he said, with that going, Dr. Mayak, how could you put divine and foreigners and dead in one category? When you think of something divine, you tend to think of something that is exalted or far beyond, right? So when you think of a foreigner is someone that's far and far beyond. When you think of the dead, you think of people who have gone far and beyond. So that's why Netter is a classifier that can be used for divine, foreigners, or the dead. So it does not mean God. Netter is a classifier for divine, foreigners, or the dead. Divine, foreigners, and the dead. So he said, with that going, Dr. Mayak, how could you put divine and foreigners and dead in one category? When you think of something divine, you tend to think of something that is exalted or far beyond, right? So when you think of a foreigner is someone that's far and far beyond. When you think of the dead, you think of people who have gone far and beyond. So that's why Netter is a classifier that can be used for divine, foreigners, or the dead. All right. And so you clearly heard my position on it. And so,
Hmm.
brother, you came on and you said, yeah, what you tell him, brother, on good luck.
We was in New York. When we
Yeah,
in New York?
we were in New York. This was a few years back. We were
Oh no,
in New
I
York.
ain't here. What was I doing when you was doing all that? What was I at?
I don't
Messing
know.
with Red.
You probably was messing with Red Pill or one of them. But go ahead, brother. Go ahead and shoot your shot. You said that no. Despite that, the person who translated it said that it didn't mean God. You have some evidence to show that it does mean God. So go ahead, brother. You have the floor.
All right. Coming out of Wallace E. Budge, an Egyptian hieroglyphic dictionary, straight, page 401. Nether, or Netcher, either way to pronounce it is correct. The word in general use in texts of all periods for God and God. That's what it says. Okay, so in Neteru, translated as gods. So you're going to go to the English word God. So I'm coming out of first and foremost Merriam-Webster's Dictionary online, 1828. Right, this is God with big G, the perfect and all-powerful spirit or being that is worshipped especially by Christians, Jews, and Muslims as the one who created and rules the universe. That's the one I worship. 2, a spirit or being that has great power, strength, knowledge, etc. And here's the key part, and that can affect nature and the lives of people. One of various spirits or beings worshipped in some religions. 3, a person and especially a man, because it's God, and goddess is usually used for the female, who is greatly loved or admired. Then you go all the way down, because it's the website that I'm using real quick, and it has the kid's definition, which touches on the divine part. Just a moment. I want to read it verbatim. Person or thing of supreme value. An object worshipped as divine. Now you said netra means divine, foreign, and the dead. Asar is a netra, and in ancient Egyptian cosmology, he's the ruler of the dead. So that checks that box off. Is he divine? Yeah, he checks that box off. Was he already killed and is he dead? Check that box off. So he's actually all three. He got killed by Set, was deified after he died, and is in control of the dead, which is an aspect of nature. So him alone, he fits all three as a saw, right? Which is part of my Instagram handle, Asar Sanknefuru, which means Asar who causes the greatest good to live, or the initiate of Asar who causes the greatest good to live. So, a being believed to have more than human powers. If you're in control of the dead, you have more than human powers. So, just off of that alone, it's a correct translation. Now we're gonna go into Webster's New Dictionary, and it says God, any of various beings conceived as supernatural, immortal, and having special powers over people and nature. This is a common theme that keeps coming up, over people and nature, and especially a male, because you're using God, even though God is a neuter noun and it can be used for female. They reserve goddess for a female. That's why they say especially a male. 2, an image that is worshipped. An image, so a god could be even an image that's worshipped, an idol. A person, meaning a limited human, can be a god, or a thing deified or excessively honored and admired. 4, in monotheistic religions, meaning the truth, the creator and ruler of the universe, eternal, all powerful, and all knowing, supreme being, almighty. In Medu Neter, that would be Neb Urger, meaning the Lord to the utmost limit, meaning he was actually at the top, or whoever they refer to as Neter, meaning the word itself refers directly to Neb Urger. I'm going to prove it. I'm not just going to say it, I'm going to read it out. Give me a second. Neb. Forgive me, there's a lot of entries in this book, but I know it's in here. Just give me a second.
Take your time, brother. Take your time.
Okay. Thank you.
I had my mic muted. I said, Brother Onk, the chat room is, y'all don't make me, y'all stop. I don't want the chat. The chat room is on fire, brother Onk.
All right, I
What
found
it
it.
is?
Oh man. Don't come on, y'all. I have my water here. I'm not trying to spit my water out tonight. Go ahead, brother. You have the floor.
All right, here it is. Neb or Jer, the Lord to the uttermost limit,
Mm-hmm.
i.e., the Lord of the universe, a title of the Egyptian god. So, even at first, the Kemites themselves, they only worship one deity, and that was Neb or Jer, the Lord to the utmost limit. That means the most high. Uttermost is uppermost. So the most high. So they worship the most high. And Neberger means the most high. When we say our prayer, we say Subhana Rabbil Allah. And that means glory be to the Lord of the most high. So that's be the same thing as saying Dua Neberger in Merunetra. Now, nitrogen, the word nitrogen is said to have come from the word netra, right? Also, neuter is also said to have come from the word necher, which
Mm-hmm.
that's another way to pronounce it as neuter, meaning not one gender or the other. The only
Neutral,
thing
right?
that's not one gender or the other is the supreme being, which in here that's what it is. Neb Urger, Lord to the utmost limit, and Neb Urger is a necher. So if you're in control of a certain aspect of reality, that's God, right? And then we could go to the etymology of God, which goes back to Teutonic or Germanic, Gut, which is to invoke, in the sense being to invoke a spirit in a burial ground. So that which is invoked etymologically is a god. So are there formulas for calling on these deities or these mental life forms that are, I wouldn't say is exactly higher than us, but they have a different form than us. And they could do things that we probably immediately couldn't do. Nonetheless, the ancient Egyptians believed in this. They recorded it, and they didn't separate religion and science. So this atheistic belief that they just were scientists and was nothing else and they didn't have any really, that's actually false. If that were the case, then why did Akhenaten shut down all of the temples? Was he shutting down science schools or was he shutting down religious temples? He was shutting down religious temples. He got rid of Amen, right? And then he instituted Aten, and he actually named his son Tutankhaten. But then when he got knocked off and the old priesthood got control again, they forced his son to rename himself Tutankhamen. So if it was all about science, what's the difference between Aten and Amen? Why would they make him change his name? Because they were religious. That's why. And they worshipped certain deities or certain powers. They worshipped the hidden power, meaning they didn't want to deal with the evident power, which was Aten. So they wanted to deal with more of the hidden power because they were secretive and they weren't exactly, you know, righteous themselves like Akhenaten was. But that's neither here nor there. So that actually proves that Netra is God. And what the brother was talking about America being
No,
older
no,
than
no, no, no,
anything
no,
in
no,
the
no, no,
East.
brother. No, no, no.
Heck
We
no.
can't bounce around. We can't bounce around. We'll get to
No.
that, but we need to be able to respond to what you just said, right? Like you
Oh,
did.
okay.
We talked for about 5 or 10 minutes about, we gave you the floor first,
Oh,
and
all
so
right.
you said a lot. The first thing I
Mm-hmm.
wanna address was you said you read from Bulge's translation, and you said
Mm-hmm.
that the word netter or netcher was translated to mean God.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, that was the first point that you made, brother.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on that? Because I already told him that that's not true, that it was mistranslated. But what are your thoughts on the word actually meaning God, the God?
That's actually a Germanic word, and the origin of it is a dramatic term, at least when we got it, when we got brought to North America. There's other research that says the word goes back older, but it goes back to Slavic, to libation, to pour out. And then we can look up and see who was actually pouring libations in the earliest of times. It simply means water to pour out. That's basic. So he just mixed a whole lot of religions together, which don't even make no sense to do. And it's borderline disrespectful to those cultures that took the time out to examine their world and put together ideas and concepts. And you got the fast, he does the fast, he does the natures, he does the Allah, he does like nobody does that but the African American. And that's the problem for me. Not the fact that you called the word nature gods by the Egyptians, is the fact that you would actually seem as if you were suffering from an inferiority complex because you actually afraid to get away from the Egyptian concepts. You actually afraid to get away from the old African concepts. And so you try to blend it in and mix it. And you definitely afraid of Christianity and Islam because you practice that. So you're thinking, not you. I'm just saying the way you think, right? You're showing that you're suffering from an inferiority complex. You mix and imagine too much, bro. Like a God is basically an idea and a concept created by human beings to talk about their environment. It's a cultural container. You just mixed enemies with enemies and mixed and matched the different time periods. Like if you say Aten, you're talking about 1500 BCE. When you talk about Allah, Rahman, you're talking about AD times, right? You mix
7th
you back,
century, right?
like
6th, 7th century.
It's not a congenial conversation for me. I can't allow you to mix and match and mix. So now you're going to sit there and tell us, watch this, Doc, that there's only one God. You said monotheism mean the truth. Where at? There's a lot of things you said. I took notes. So you either pick a God and let's talk about it. I'm not going to let you run around and make all the gods the same. Like I can't do that for me. That's not going to help you out. That's not going to help you. Yeah, that's not. It's 2,500 gods on earth. Like you just blended them all together as if they was all talking about the same thing. So the Egyptians had an idea of divinity. They had an idea of ancestors. They had an idea of the sky, things coming from the sky. They had these traditions that spoke of ancestors could be a nature. There's a lot of points to be made off of that one word, right? So, but just to mix it in and then invoke Allah and then back to Aten and then make the mistake and say they wasn't separating their signs. That's what got them in trouble. That they didn't separate the ghosts in their head from signs. I say the ghosts in your head. You got a lot of ghosts. You got different names for different ghosts in your head. And the Egyptians couldn't quite get the ghosts out their head and they couldn't separate it. They tried though. I can show you medical papyri, right? Where they tried to make this separation, and I'm gonna grab the book and show you, but they didn't quite make it. It'd be almost like being in America today, and you go to the doctor and he writes you a prescription and you get it, and at the bottom of it got John 13:12. You'd be like, why'd you put that on there? That has nothing to do with the prescription and giving it to the pharmacy. Why'd you put that on there? Because the person who put that on there was afraid that if they didn't do it, that the whole prescription would be messed up. That means they hadn't got the ghost out of their head yet. I know I said a lot of things, but the essential point I was trying to make, you mixed and matched. You made all gods the same. It's not the truth. All gods aren't created equal. You made points that were right. I'm not knocking that, but your basic premise of mixing up cultures as if it was one is what I would call treason to the respect of the human family and the different cultures they created and their deities.
Yeah, because he did mix like Egyptian, and then he went to, Islam. Then from Islam, what else was it?
Judaism.
Judaism. Then it was that. So it was a lot of mixing going on, brother.
Yeah,
when you were trying to defend why, or just, I don't want to say defend because it's not an argument, right? But when you were trying to state your position or support your position that nature meant God. Could you explain the mixing of cultures?
I didn't mention but one culture actually. I was just talking about the ancient Egyptians, so I don't know where y'all get mixing from. 'Cause I didn't mix anything. I was actually clarifying something that relates across cultures because every culture has some type of concept of God or gods.
Right. I agree with you.
Okay, all right. So
I'm
now
with you.
I'm going to read divine because
I don't agree
you
with.
said, hold
I don't
on,
agree
bro,
with that.
hold on,
No, he said
hold
all
on,
cultures like have their own
hold on,
concept of God or
hold on.
whatever, cosmologies, whatever. Go ahead.
Don't mean the
Right? You
same
said,
though. Don't mean the
But
same
yeah,
thing.
no, it doesn't mean the
hold on,
same.
hold
It
on,
doesn't mean the
because you
same.
said that you said nature means divine. You said that, right? Okay,
Tell me. I
divine.
said nature means a lot of. It's
No,
not
no, no.
just
I'm not
one
talking
thing.
about what you said. I'm talking
Yeah, I said,
Oh,
about
you
what
talking?
yeah,
Dr. Maat said. Said
yeah.
means
I played
divine.
the. I
Okay.
played. I didn't say that it meant divine. I said that it was a classifier that meant multiple things. You want me to play the
Well,
video
well.
again?
Okay. No, hold on. You said that it's a classifier that means divine. So
I
it
didn't say that.
does.
Hold on 1 second,
Okay.
brother.
So hold on, because I
No,
like.
no, hold on, because I don't like people to put words in my mouth. Let me play the clip again for the listening audience, because what we're not going to do is put words in my mouth. Okay. I said that it meant multiple things. I called it a classifier. So for the listening audience, I want you to hear this for yourself. Okay. Let's go. Hold on. Why nature is a classifier that can be used for divine, foreigners, or the dead. So it does not mean God. Nature is a classifier for divine, foreigners, or the dead. Divine, foreigners, and the dead. So you said, well, they're going, Dr. Maya. How could you put divine and foreign? Okay. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing because you keep saying that I said that it meant divine as if I said, like, that's all it meant. And so I just want to make sure, that people understand that that's not what I'm saying. So I'm going to go ahead and unmute your mic, brother.
Okay. I was just saying. I didn't say that that's all you said. I said that's one of the meanings. So I was just going to read the meaning of divine. Definition one: of or like God or a god. First definition of divine. Very first definition mentions God as divine. Very first. Second, given or inspired by God, holy, sacred. Even the second definition repeats God. Three, devoted to God, religious. That's number two. So there's one, number two, and then number three means devoted to God, religious. Four, supremely great, good, etc. That's number four. Five, colloquially, very pleasing, attractive, etc. Noun, a clergyman. Two, a theologian. And then prophecy, and then to guess or to conjecture, and to find out. And these are actually the verbs instead of the adjective. So that's one dictionary. Now I'm going to come out of the Webster's College Dictionary. I'm just using logic.
I don't see it. And let me
No
tell you why.
feeling.
And I think that maybe we're
Hold on.
confused. Can
Hold
you hear me,
on.
brother?
I can hear you. I was
Okay,
just
yeah, yeah,
going to
yeah.
read this next definition.
You can, but let me
Okay.
say that. Let me say this, brother. I think
All right.
that what's confusing us is so you mentioned. I think you said your handle was called. Tell us your handle again. Asar. What is your handle again?
On Instagram, Asar Sang Neferu.
Right. That's what we just said. I thought I said
So
you was mixing gods. Asar is a
so
god.
right. That's
It's
your
two
handle,
separate
right?
cultures.
So
Mm,
You're a Muslim.
two different languages, same concept.
No,
Two
you
different
made that
languages,
up.
same concept. No, I didn't make it up. I
Yeah,
remember there was
Asar.
hold on. I
Asar is
remember
not
there
a
was a
Muslim.
lecture. There was a lecture that Bobby Hemmett had done a long time ago. And he said, yeah, it was a lecture that Bobby Hemmett did a long time ago. And
Oh,
Bobby
yo.
Hemmett said, as a matter of fact, it was a lecture on the Moors.
Oh,
And one of the things he said in there, he said that Asar and Allah was one and the same because Allah in the Quran is mentioned as Lord of the Sirius, Now, in Medu Neter, the Lord of the Sirius constellation or star cluster is Asar. So that means it's equivalent, meaning Asar is but an aspect of Allah, who in Medu Neter would be Neb or Jer. Just like in Islam, you have Allah, then you have the jinn. You have good jinn, then you have bad jinn. An equivalent to the Christian culture, that would be called angels and then demons or what have you. But what I was saying, I wasn't mixing the culture. What I was actually doing was I was showing the similarities between different cultures. Meaning
Oh,
every
okay,
yeah, that's
okay,
all I was saying. I wasn't saying
okay.
it
He
was the
was
same.
so
I
he
was
wasn't
saying
saying
that
brother Unc it was the same. He said that
yeah,
it's
I was
just
saying that the
mhm.
concepts are similar, meaning they all have a concept of, or originally they had a concept of, there's the one supreme deity, and then every other deity, every other thing in the universe, which is divine, came from that one source. And there's other classes of beings, and those classes of beings have a name. In Medu Neter, that name just happens to be Neteru. In Arabic, it happens to be Jinn. In Hebrew, it happens to be Elohim, and then so forth and so forth and so on. I wasn't mixing the cultures. What I was saying is it's a similar theme throughout the cultures. That's why I was mentioning the other ones. So I was just going to read the next definition of divine,
Mhm.
and it's one, of, relating to, or proceeding directly from God or a God. B, being a deity. C, directed to a deity. 2, A, supremely good, superb. B, heavenly, godlike. So divine keeps going back to the word God, and the word God keeps going back to divine. I mean, you might not like the word God, but it means something that has more power than usual, or someone. It could even be a person of great power, because the key definition in there is something that has power over an aspect of nature. So that's anything is a God. Anything is a God. So
Hmm.
everything is actually some form of a nature. Everything.
All right,
Weird nature.
all right, let me bring this source up real quick.
Okay.
I can kind of agree with that. That's everything. Is that so? That's like Allah is everything, correct? We can always say God is
Correct.
everything, right?
Correct.
All right.
Yet is beyond everything because it's infinite.
And God can't be infinite.
Yeah, yeah. God is actually the only thing that's infinite.
How? How is that?
Because
All right, let me read this real
one
quick
one
before you
we're gonna meet.
hold
Okay.
on. So we got Wallace E. Burge's book. You
Okay.
spoke of Wallace, am I correct?
Yes.
In the Book of the Dead, he has a chapter entitled "The Egyptian Word for God." Right?
Mm-hmm.
It say the great and supreme power which made the earth, the heavens, the sea, the sky, men, women, animals, birds, creeping things, all that is, all that shall be. The Egyptians gave the name Neter. That's a symbol right there, right? Kind of looks like a flag. It said the word survives in Coptic, but both in the ancient language and is its younger relative. The exact meaning of the word is lost. So there you go, right there. Like for real, the exact meaning of the word is lost. So now we're going to rely on Christians or whatever to actually figure out what that is.
Hold on,
Okay,
brother Unc.
so
I didn't hear you because I told him earlier that I think that Budge said it was a mistrans. I didn't know it was lost. So it's right there where it just says it's lost. So maybe I
yeah,
forgot. So
they
could you read
lost.
can, can you read that line for me one more time? I don't have my glasses on. So it says this word survives. So we're talking about netter or netcher. It says this word survives. Can you read that one more time for me, brother Unc?
Say this word survives in the Coptic, but both in the ancient language and in its younger relative. The exact meaning of the word is lost. Imperit. Following Dirug connects it with the word and says it means renovation. Okay, but Bruch renders it by Gothic Hellenic, divine, sacred, and by three Arabic words, which mean divine, sacred, or set apart, holy, representatively, by a quotation from the stele of the Corpus, he shows that the Ptolemaic times it meant holy or sacred. So he's moving different time periods. What it means when
Mhm.
applied to animals of the gods. Mr. Renouf says that the notion expressed by neuter as a noun and neutra as an adjective or a verb
Mhm.
must be sought in the Coptic, which in the translation of the Bible corresponds to the Greek word. You can read that. It says power, force, strong, fortify, protect, right? So it means a lot of things in here, and you would have to know certain determinatives to know what they was applying it to. So I guess we're
Mhm.
going back to the same thing. And he goes on to show that the word nature means strong, mighty. However, thinks that the Coptic noni has nothing in common with nature of the Egyptian word for God. It's a and the passage quoted by Mr. Renouf in support of his theory can be otherwise explained. His own opinion is that significance strong. That's what he's saying. It just means strong. Like a saw, the bull, the strong bull. Okay, it say if it ever existed, is a derived and not an original meaning. And he believes that the word is so old that its first sense is unknown to us. So, right. So I guess we
Okay.
just, right. So I mean, at the end of the day, the sister was saying that, you know, yeah. So I get everybody putting a thing on it, but the thing is so old that, but we can surmise they was talking about everything in nature or whatever. But that's
Mhm.
not mad at that. So I think we can work
Right.
that out right there. But it don't
Mhm.
gotta mean God though. That's the point that I think she was really making. Doesn't necessarily have to mean
I
God.
can agree with that.
Yeah, most
Okay.
people. So we good on that topic.
Yeah, we good. And I just appreciate his honesty that he was like, okay, like I could see that perspective. Like I'm listening to his perspective and we're like, oh, okay, I could see that. And and that we were able to come to some, resolve at least on that topic. So let's move
Mhm.
to the next topic. And that is, brother, on your Instagram post, you identify as an Aboriginal, indigenous, Paleo American Moor.
Yeah.
Um, that's a lot. That's
Mhm.
really loaded to say you're Aboriginal, Indigenous, Paleo American Moor. Could you
Yeah.
break down how you came to identify with that? Like, what does that mean? I don't know what that means because it's a
All
lot.
right.
Mhm.
Aboriginal is the first in the land,
Okay.
right? So
Mhm.
I'm tracing myself back to the very first people that was in the land. And
So you
indigenous
trace
mean
you say the
Mhm.
land, you're talking about America.
America, right?
Mm.
And indigenous means you was actually born there too. So you could be aboriginal to somewhere, but be indigenous to somewhere else because that's where you were born. So when you look at the word indigenous, it literally means to be born in. So to be indigenous, you have to be born there to be indigenous, although you can have ancestry that's aboriginal to another part of the earth, right? And then paleo. Paleo is ancient, guess you could say Greek, but it actually precedes Greek, but it's used in the Greek for so-called Greek for the oldest, like primal, like the beginning, like very ancient, like the most ancient. So a Paleo American would be the most ancient of Americans because now you have different types of Americans. You have Native Americans, which is the people from Siberia that people think is the original people of this land. Then you have us, who's actually the original people of this land. So, we were everywhere on Earth. We weren't just in Africa. And as a matter of fact, that out of Africa theory is less true than the into Africa theory. So the populations that's in Africa now, they all migrated to there after the flood because the flood basically decimated most of Africa. That's why
What flood are you referring
the
to,
world
brother?
flood, the
The
deluge,
who?
that the world flood. the deluge that every single culture talks about,
Where's that?
except the ones, hold on, except the ones in Africa. But it makes sense because when you look at the Sahara, that was actually caused by the flood. So yeah, most of those societies there are not gonna have any knowledge of what happened there because they got wiped out. So there wouldn't be any records there because they got wiped out.
Yeah,
So the
man.
people from South America, and there's actually I don't like to use the term African because it's a misnomer. There was a Kushite, right? That Kush would actually be the correct term for the landmass we call in Africa. There was a Kushite who actually wrote a book called Civilization in Ancient Egypt, and the whole book is dedicated to how he says the South American Indians, which that's a misnomer. Indians are really Moors. So the South American Moors came from South
Hey,
America
bro,
into
hold on for
Africa.
a minute.
Hmm.
Bro, hold on. This ain't the kind of conversation I like where you going for an hour and hoping I forget some of the things you're
I'm
saying.
not
So
hoping
you
you
got
forget anything.
no. You can't do that. That's not fair. You're going very
I'm,
long. I get
I'm
it. You're a
okay.
storyteller.
Well,
I'm not mad at you.
I was going to connect some
What are you
points
trying to
so
connect?
that.
Let's stop at the world flood.
Yeah,
That's a
because because that's very important. Let's stop
yeah,
there.
Hmm.
let's stop
So
there.
right, right.
Right? We
Hmm.
gotta stop there. So I'm asking you
Yeah.
humbly, what
Hmm.
archaeological surveys do you have? Now I can definitely help you. I can talk, I understand floods, right? I can
Hmm.
help you with some of these things, right? But what are you referencing from to say flood? You say the deluge, so you mean like a biblical thing. Am I correct?
Well,
Is that your first inkling of it?
if you look in the Enuma Elish, it talks about the worldwide flood, and the Enuma Elish is way older than any Hebrew text.
The Ether Hasis, the Enima Elish, absolutely from the
Hmm.
Sumerian tablets. You're talking about the
Yeah.
god Utnapishtim, right?
Hmm.
When the god comes to him and understands Utnapishtim is noble, and he warns him to build a boat, and they use tools. I actually like that better than the biblical narrative,
The
right?
Noah's Ark.
Okay,
Yeah.
I do. But it's not a world flood because they don't even know about the world. Let's keep cultural context. And let's not put our modern understanding of the world on them. They didn't even
All right.
know that the sun didn't go around the earth back then at that time period. So they was talking about their area. Okay. And let me explain. I'll explain to you why they thought that, because the Persian Gulf actually flooded out. I'll bring that resource. So for them people, they was flooded, and so they write that they don't understand the Laurentide ice sheets. They don't understand glacial stages. They don't know that during ice ages, the water levels drop. Okay, caves are being exposed, water levels drop, and a lot of the water goes up into ice, into these mega ice sheets. They don't know about that. And so around 10,000 BCE, when the ice starts to melt, when we're coming out the glacial stage, it starts heavy flooding. So you're right, bro. So to them, they make up creation stories and flood stories to explain the natural phenomenon of glacials flooding. Lake Michigan, it comes from it flooding, right? What's the daggone thing, Doc, in Canada? The
Niagara Falls.
Niagara Falls, right?
Hmm.
This corresponds with the glacial stages. That's how they know when the glacial stage occur, because you can actually trace back in time, because as that water erodes, right, it moves. So they know when it first started. All they gotta do is count back geologically, and they know when this ice started to melt around them same time periods where you start to see the Green Sahara flourishing. Okay, these people start to put these stories out, but particularly in the Persian Gulf, it flooded out because when the ice starts to melt, now, right, the tides are rising and the oceans are rising now because a lot of the water is going back in. The same thing that's happening now with these ice melting, and we know how the levels are rising and certain areas are being flooded out again. Yes, these people didn't know that it was some daggone ice, bro. So they did what early humans did. They made up a story trying to not allow that to happen again. Killed a lot of them, and I get it. And I'll bring some archaeology on that before the show's over. So I get what you're thinking, but let's get the ghosts out of our head and let's talk about the natural phenomenon, which is flooding. Flooding don't just come from the rain. But when you say globally, then you got to be talking about the ice sheets melting. But go ahead, brother. I just wanted to
Yes.
put some real to the thing instead of the
Yeah.
ghost.
So Brother Unc is telling you that it wasn't like a worldwide flood that occurred. That never occurred. That's what you're saying, Brother Unc.
That it did occur. That would be false. And
No,
all the
no, wait,
cultures
whoa,
of the
whoa.
earth,
No,
I
Brother
mean,
all the
Unc,
it
cultures
was
of the
studied.
earth recorded it.
hold
I
on, hold on.
mean,
What you
it's
say?
not me saying it.
No,
Like
no.
you gotta argue with every other culture that has it.
So hold up,
You
Brother
gotta
Unc. I'm
argue
trying
with
to
every other culture. I'm
right.
not.
Brother Unc, I'm trying to understand what you're saying. You're saying that the way
It's
he
flooded.
perceives of
Yes.
the way he perceives this flood. So he's
Yes.
thinking, okay, I'm reading these narratives from these different texts, and they're saying that the flood happened, but it wasn't the way he thinks that it happened. This is a natural
It was,
phenomenon that they.
God didn't do it. Yeah, God didn't do it. That's the point. That the ancient cultures that you speak about, you're right. They do record this event, and I explain why. Because we was coming out of the glacial stage, the worm ice age, where a lot of the waters, not all of it, but the waters are sucked up in high degrees in these ice sheets. I'll show it later on. But when these ice sheets start to retreat and the temperatures drop, go up a couple degrees, it start like global warming. It starts to melt, and what does it do? It starts to flood out these societies. And so these flooding stories are passed on to generation. Like early man don't know what the hell's going on, bro. To them, they've done something wrong for the gods. So you read the story of Utnapishtim, God was mad. That's why he sent the waters to kill people. They don't know. They don't understand floods. They don't know plate tectonics. They don't know that. So they gave the best explanation they had. They explained it with the ghosts in their head. Not till later on do they start adding scientific explanations for this.
So
That's
hold
what
up,
I'm
brother.
saying.
So he's saying that when these floods took place, you're saying, brother, that that's when there was a migration that took place into Africa
After the flood.
after the
Oh yeah,
flood.
you
That's what I
did.
said.
Yeah,
After
you
the flood.
yeah you did. Listen, this migration is happening. Period. And yes, they do back migrate into Africa. You got Indo-European markers that you find in Green Sahara. You got Levantian markers, and they all go. You're right. They all go back into Africa, and they all converge in the Green Sahara because at this time period, the Nile is desert area, right? But there's a Green Sahara. So you're right. They do go back into Africa, but that's a back migration. Like we do this for real. And I can give you each time period you're talking about, I can explain the natural phenomenon because that's what science does. It explains natural phenomenons. Now, if we was 10,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago, we just saying, yo, we living here. Next thing I know, we flooded out. We're dying. We can't survive. We don't understand. We think God is mad. When earthquakes occur or tsunamis, it causes tsunami and the big wave come and wipe out the whole people. We think God is mad at us. We try to appease the gods. I'm trying to show you that you're right, that they do record these stories, right? And it's based off of their ancestors telling the stories back to when the ice ages were ending. So by the time you get to 3000 BCE, 4000 BCE, this is a long going story. The flood didn't happen to the people at 3000 BCE. How do we know? Because there's no flooding that much in the geological record. We look at geology. The geological record tells you when water was most prominent, right? You talked about the Sahara. Yes, the Sahara was flooded out, but that's way. That's 1.5. That's 150 million years ago where you got the Tekken Ocean. How do you know? They got a place called Wadi Sa, the place of whales. They actually found whale bones in the Sahara. That's 150 million years ago, though. And they find these bones, right? These early whales. So I'm with you. I'm just saying now it's 2022 and we can explain the things that the ancient people just couldn't explain. So the best thing they had was explain it through the ghosts in their head. Oh, it was God, or oh, it was the devil, or oh, it was this, but the gods was mad, and No, we don't have to do that anymore, brother. That's all I'm saying. Not trying to knock your religion, but the things you're speaking about, we have records. Nature tells the story, right? And if you want to learn about the story of the geological and natural phenomenon, you have to study nature. You have to study Earth. That's all I'm saying, bro. But go ahead. So you're right. They do record this, but I wanted to give you the reasons for why it happened. Maybe that'll help you think a little more on the subject. There you go.
Yeah, I find it very interesting that you could speak on what the ancients didn't know, but you don't know what I don't know. So if you don't know, and I'm talking to you right now, if you as a human being don't know what I don't know and do know. Do you know everything that I do and don't know? Do you know everything that I do and don't know?
That sound like
I'm,
who on first, who got who on second, who on third.
it's just a
Yo, you
yes or no
confused,
question.
man.
I
I
mean, if
don't
you
know what
don't want
you
to
know, but
answer
I
it,
know
that's
what you
fine.
know. You know what I know.
Okay, well,
What?
you
Hold on.
don't know what I do know, and you don't know what I don't know. So there's absolutely no way you could know that they didn't know about plate tectonics, that they didn't know about glacier. You can't, I can't say, I can speak on what somebody knows from what they have revealed, meaning they had to know it if they revealed it, meaning they had to know about it if they wrote about it. But I can't know what they didn't know, because in order for me to know what they didn't know, I would have to be right there beside them and verify you don't know what you're talking about because I'm talking to you right now. So I'm not gonna go reach
Yeah,
beyond,
yeah,
like
yeah,
that's reaching to
yeah.
say that they
So
didn't know about this and they didn't
I
know
got
about
him.
that.
Hey,
We
Doc,
don't
I
know what
got
they
him. Doc, I
hold
got
on.
okay,
We
him.
okay.
don't
I'll
know
be
what
quiet.
they
Okay, I'll
didn't
be
know.
quiet. Okay, I'll be quiet. Go ahead.
We
So
don't know
yes,
what they
we do.
didn't know. So
Yes, we
you
do know.
that's
Yes, yes.
conjecture to say
I'm gonna
that,
tell you what they
oh well
didn't.
they
I'm
go
gonna tell
ahead.
you what they didn't know. They didn't know that the sun did not revolve around the planet. That's what they didn't know. How about
I would
that?
say they was correct on that. I would say they was actually correct on that. And I would say
Hold on,
that
whoa, 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 whoa. Correct on what? I'm listening. Correct
that
on
the
what?
sun goes around the earth. The earth's stationary, it doesn't move.
I'm done. Hey, Doc, I can't do the conversation no more. I'm done. I can't even waste the time. Hey,
Hold
bro,
on,
I got
hold
you.
on, hold
Yeah,
on,
I'm
hold on.
done.
I
Yeah, I
mean,
just
we
had
could
to
be
follow
done with
back.
the conversation, but
Yeah, I'm
you
done.
know,
Because
Okay.
now I feel like I want to joke you. I feel like I want to talk about the hat on your head. I feel like having fun at this point.
maybe that's because you're a
And and
jokester.
and, and you know what? I almost respect what you're saying because you
Almost.
prove yes, almost. You know why? Because Doc, this is a teaching moment.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Common sense tells you,
Uh-huh.
watch this. Common sense tells you, brother, that the sun actually revolves around the planet.
How?
Us standing on Earth, right?
Uh-huh.
You could actually see the sun rise in the morning. Am I correct? And
Yeah,
then
you
it
see the sun moving.
disappears by the time night comes. Correct?
Yeah, but the
Do
earth's
you
not
feel the
moving.
planet moving? Right. Do
No.
you feel the planet moving? Huh?
No. No. So that actually
The Earth,
proves
no,
my
I didn't
point.
say the Earth was moving. I said the sun goes around the Earth. Correct?
Correct.
Right. I said, and that's common sense. Common sense tell you when
Yeah.
we wake up in the morning, we see the sun over here. By the time we
Uh-huh.
finish our work, it ends up right there. So
Right.
common sense, and I don't feel the Earth moving. Do you?
It doesn't.
Right. And see, Doc, that's the point. Science is counterintuitive. See, common sense tell you that
Nah.
the sun rises, right, and
Uh-huh.
falls, and it's actually going
Uh-huh.
around. That's the view that
Yeah.
ancient people had. Thank you for confirming that. I'm telling you that you got Copernicus, the priest, right? He lost his life for saying that the earth travels around the sun. You got Galileo, he was placed on house arrest for saying that, right? What you're talking about is the earth-centered model. Do you know why the earth
Uh-huh.
was the center of the cosmos? Because we're
Because
humans.
it is.
No, because we're no, because we're humans and we think who we are is the place. Remember, God made his head special. Humans are self-centered and we think ourselves to be special. So our first view of the
Yeah.
world is we are the center, right? We are the thing that God focuses on. We are it, and the sun, right, goes around the earth, right? The
Yeah.
truth is the heliocentric model, which Copernicus talked about, is the scientific model, and he used measurements to figure that out. So I hear what you're saying, but you got to take an astronomy class. Do me a favor, bro. I ain't even trying to be funny. Forget all that other stuff. Have you ever taken an astronomy class? You can do it for free online.
I'm an
What's the name of?
astrologer, so I mean,
No, no, no. I
you
said
sing into the
astronomy.
choir.
No, 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 no,
It's the
no.
same
When I
thing. It's
talk,
the
no,
same
no, no. We're
science.
not talking about astrology. Astrology is the foolery that the Greeks came up with. We're saying
No, I mean
astronomy.
they didn't come up with it.
No, no.
But go ahead.
Listen to what I'm saying. Yes, at the temple of Dendera, that's a Greek temple in Egypt. Dendera, right? That's a what you're talking about. Astrology.
No.
I'm talking about
Actually, it
astronomy. Look
predates
right
that.
here. You see this? Can you see this? See that?
Mm-hmm.
Celestron Omni AZ-102. That's
Uh-huh.
astronomy, right? We got the oldest megaliths in Nata Playa. Go back 7,000 years, right? We talked about that today, Doc. This is amazing. We
Yeah, it
talked
is.
about,
It's all coming together. We did
yeah,
talk
we
about it
talked
today.
about, I could show you the oldest observatory on planet Earth, which gave them, it gave the people the ability to track the monsoon, to track the winter and summer solstice, so they would know when to plant crop. This is valuable. Not astrology talking about, yeah, I'm
Mm-hmm.
a Pisces and I'm feeling bad today because Venus is in the retrograde. That's buffoonery. That adds nothing to your life. But astrology? Without astrology, my fault, astronomy, NASA can't even go into space, right? We
They never
know the
did.
Earth is not
Uh,
stationary
okay,
because
so
it's a sister. Black History Month.
come on,
Sister Catherine came up
Katherine
with the
Johnson.
mathematical equation. Yes, that showed them when you leave Earth, right? There's a certain mathematical equation, so you know at what point you're gonna get back in Earth's atmosphere, and it
Did
has
she
to
ever leave?
arrive at this certain point. It's used
Did
math
she
to
ever
do it.
leave?
You know why? Because the Earth is moving. So
Did
I'm
she ever
not. I
leave?
just wanted to give that to you, bro. I just want to get that to you. So you saying NASA's a
Did
fraud?
you
I
ever
didn't go
leave?
to the moon, all that, huh?
All right. Well, I'm just speaking in common sense. Like I like to deal with logic and
Oh yeah, yeah.
practical reality. Most of the people who believe in outer space never been there. They believe in NASA. You got to. You have no choice but to believe what they say because you don't have any aircraft that's taking you up there and confirming what they're talking about. You believe them.
So how
You
about
have no
Santa
choice
Claus
but to
though?
believe.
How about Santa
Okay,
Claus?
hold on. But
How about Santa
our
Claus though?
ancestors, right? Our
How about Santa
ancestors,
Claus? How about Santa
all of them.
Claus? How
Listen,
about Santa
listen.
Claus? I'm saying you
All right.
talking Santa Claus to me right now.
No, no,
I
I'm
want to
not. Stop
discuss
clowning.
Santa Claus and how he was able to put all them toys around the world. Can we talk about that?
Listen, brother, you older than me. Stop. So,
No. I'm
no, no,
actually
no.
not
Hold on,
older than
hold on, hold
you
on, hold on, hold on,
because you're
hold on,
talking
hold on.
Santa Claus to me.
I'm
I'm
dealing
not
with
going to let
logic.
you.
I'm dealing with logic.
No, you're not.
Most
You're
of the
dealing
people,
with
listen,
you're dealing
listen,
with what you
listen.
calling
Most of the
common sense,
people who
bro.
believe so much in the heliocentric model,
It's crazy.
they
So you
just
a
been in a
flat earther?
plane.
Is the
Hold
Earth
on, they
flat?
just some of them have
Wait a
never
minute. Is the
even
Earth
been in a
flat?
plane.
Is the
Are
Earth
you serious?
flat,
Is the
brother? Can
Earth
you answer
flat?
that question? Do you believe the Earth is flat also?
Like the ground, yeah, it's flat, of course.
No, the shape of the Earth. Do you think that the Earth is flat instead of round?
All right, well, round and globular is two different things. Is it round? Yeah, it's more round like a disc, but it
Uh,
goes on infinitely and it's domed in, just like the ancient Egyptians said,
Okay,
just
we
like the
not
Hebrews said,
we
just
not
like the Mayans said, just like the Hopi said, just like the Chinese said, just like the Japanese said, just like the Hindus said, and all of the rest of the ancient American cultures, they all of them say the same thing. We're in a flat plane that's domed in. The only time it changes is with the Greeks.
Okay.
And
So of course they was.
correct me if I'm wrong, didn't the Greeks come in and destroy Kemetic culture and force the people into a Greek way of
no
life? And they
Okay.
did the same thing to the
no. They
Hebrews.
did. They
They did
actually
the
did that. They
same thing
call
to
it
the
Ptolemy,
Hindus.
bro.
They did the same thing to
No,
the
it's called
Chinese.
no. They did
They
no.
didn't.
Yes, they
You
Yeah, you
made
did.
that
talking
up.
about the Yeah, he did make
You
that up.
made that up.
So
They
hold on,
came and
brother.
lived as pharaohs, bro. You made it up. You
Yeah.
tripping.
So hold on, bro.
They
Yeah,
came
hold
and
on,
actually
brothers.
lived indigenous African culture. They didn't even bring. They didn't even try to live as Greeks. They wanted to be. It's called the Ptolemies. They wanted to
Yeah,
be. They wanted to be made as
they wanted to be
gods.
Egyptians. They wanted to be made as
Right.
gods and Egyptianized. They
Right.
wanted
We're
to.
not doing that.
But this is
Yeah.
what I wanted to chime in and say, brother Unc. I just want to just kind of summarize some of his points. So he said the um that the that the earth does not revolve around the sun, right? That it works the other way around, that the
Crazy.
sun revolves around the earth, that the earth doesn't move. He said that. He also said that, did I miss anything? What else was his belief?
No, that was. I mean, but he actually proved the point.
Oh,
He gave us
the
the
back.
evidence without even knowing it.
No. It was a couple of points. I'm just trying to summarize because a lot was said here. So he said that the earth doesn't move, that the sun revolves around the earth. He also said that the out of Africa theory didn't work that way, right? It wasn't a group of people in Africa that left out. It was actually a group of people who went in. The people who went into Africa today, the people who are in Africa today, are people who came in after the flood. That's what he's saying. And he's saying that, instead of Africa, people migrate out of Africa, people. So you're saying, brother, that everybody was over here in America and then we went into Africa. Is that what you're saying, brother? Let me unmute you.
I'm saying that there was different populations that basically colonized America. I mean, Africa from America and from Asia. This is known, and they even tell you this. Like they tell you in their own culture. See, when you leave it to the Slavs, I don't call them white because that's childish. We're not crayons. The Slavs, the pale faces,
What?
they teach out of Africa theory. But when you actually go there and you ask the people in their culture, most of them are going to tell you, "Oh, our ancestors emigrated either from the west or from the east." That's in their culture. Like a lot of people in the Mali and Senegal area, a lot of them actually came from South America. They'll tell you this. Matter of fact, there was a guy who got offered a boat from South America, got Guinea, and he went to Ghana and he spoke with the people.
All right, man.
Like, no, no, listen, I saw it. He spoke with the people, and he went to the brother who was from Ghana, and they were speaking a similar language, and he said to him, right, this is the brother from America. He's like, "Where you from, brother?" And he said, "Ginna," because that's how he pronounced it in his dialect. Well, yeah. Now, he said, "Where did you just come from?" Now, they're speaking another language.
My fault, yo,
Oh,
for acting doubles. My fault. You're younger than me, bro. You're a storyteller, yo. You gotta stop that, yo. You gotta stop, yo. You funny. Yo, you gotta smile though. Yo, I know you dedicated to your studies, but at a certain point, you gotta laugh at some of the stuff we all say out our
Nah,
mouth,
man,
yo.
I'm
That's a
gonna have
funny
to
moment.
laugh at you because you're being
I don't
disrespectful right
mind.
now. But
I don't mind.
uh,
Say it again, yo. He said, Inna. Go ahead, yo. Go for it. I want to put
he,
that
nah,
together.
he said Ginna. I don't know exactly how to pronounce what he said, but I was listening. Like I said, they were speaking another language, and they were translating in English. And the brother from Ghana said, "Oh, where you just came from? Off of the boat?" He was like, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah, that's where our ancient ancestors are from." Meaning, where the brother just came from in South America, the brother in Ghana said, "Yeah, that's where our ancestors came from." He said that. The brother from America didn't say, "Oh yeah, yeah, our ancestors come from right here where we standing." The Ghana brother said to the South American brother that, "Yeah, our ancestors come from where you come from." And I'm not making any of this up. There's a book called Civilization in Ancient Egypt by Katunga A. Bungo, and he says in his book, and it's dedicated to people from South America coming to Africa, right? The name we calling it now is really Kush, and them civilizing the people that was there and bringing their culture on. He says this himself, and he's from there. So if he says the archaeological
Civilizing
archaeology
what? You
proves,
say people from America came and sit. All right, we gotta have a
yeah, the people.
stopping point
He
here,
said
Doc.
yes. He
Yeah,
said yes. He said the people from South
okay,
America
okay, okay.
came and brought
All right, we
culture.
done.
Okay,
All
well
right,
you
brother,
could
we
be
gotta have a
done.
stop sign,
The
yo.
book
Stop. Hey, we
exists
gotta have a stop sign.
all right,
Gotta
okay,
have a
we got
stop
to, yeah,
sign,
yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Let brother Ankh respond to some of the claims that you made. Go ahead, brother Ankh.
all right.
Hey,
Go ahead,
man,
brother Ankh.
listen, man. Your whole idea is religious. When you talk about people coming back in, that's based off of the biblical narrative, right? Because the actual Garden of Eden is in outside of Africa in Asia. That's where the garden is, and it gives
No,
you
it's
the
not
location.
where it is, but
Type
go
man,
ahead.
God is gracious, relax. The Bible tells you where it's at, bro. So if you talking about the Garden of Eden, you can't do nothing but use the Bible. It say the Tigris and Euphrates. Where's the Tigris and Euphrates River at, bro?
In America.
Okay. All right.
You know why?
So
Hold
Okay,
on,
no, we
I'll
don't want to know
explain it
why.
because
no
I
no no
know.
We
yeah,
don't
no
want to
no
know
no
why.
no 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 no
No,
no
no,
no
no,
no
no, no,
no
no,
no
no.
no no.
We don't-
Nah,
Let
you
me give you.
can't do that. You can't say, you can't
No,
write it off and then
I
not
was
let
No,
me
we
at
no we
no,
explain
did
it.
bro,
we did
bro,
we
whoa, whoa,
didn't
whoa,
write it
whoa,
out. He
bro.
just said, "Where is it?" You said America. You answered the
Yeah,
Listen,
question.
so
bro, I
let me
wasn't
explain.
asking you to give
Let
me
me
another
explain what I'm
long,
talking.
long storytelling explanation. You just gave us the
It's not
whole
long.
how the Native
It's
Americans
quick.
came into African. We did okay. I was actually speaking on the subject, and I just asked you one question. You gave me the answer. I'm checking
Hmm.
your competency on said
Okay.
subject matter of geography
All
and
right. So in the
evolution.
Bible,
No,
it
no, no,
says
no,
the
no, no. Let me
Euphrates.
finish my
Hold
point.
on.
Let me
It
finish
says
my
in the
point.
Bible, the Euphrates is a river with 7 heads. Now, the only river with 7 heads in the world is the Mississippi River. That's it. There is
Go
no
ahead.
other
Go get
river that
that.
has seven
Go
heads.
go to the book of Genesis and go find that. Go. Go get it. Pull up the book of Genesis and tell us what it said about a river with 7 heads. Go ahead.
Got you.
Book of Genesis. Why are you looking for
I
that? I
got you.
like to show, like to always show some.
Got you. Euphrates.
We want to talk about what is geodesy. Geodesy. Geodesy is the science of actually measuring and understanding the Earth's geometric shape, orientation in space, and gravity field. Okay, that's how
All
we
right,
know
boom.
what the Earth look like, what size it is, what shape it is, and that's how we understand our place in space. Okay, they put certain tools up around the Earth and they measure it, and that's how they know. We're not just guessing at. All right. Next thing I talked about the Persian Gulf here, live science, strictly talking about lost civilizations may have existed beneath the Persian Gulf, and it goes on. These are different archaeological sites and the different color codes actually telling you elevation, showing you different elevation, right? It gives you the actual got a key right there, upper Paleolithic, fine spot, river drainage channels, exposed shelves after 74,000 years. That's all right here. So just basically talking about the hold on. Um, Basically showing you how the Persian Gulf was actually flooded out. We know these when we talk in terms of the Persian Gulf, we're talking about the areas where the Tigris and Euphrates are, all up in this area right here. So I just wanted to bring those sources to that. And this is in live science. Y'all can look it up. The lost civilizations may have existed beneath the Persian Gulf. Y'all can read that. Y'all can also get this site, uh, National Ocean Service. And they talk about what is geodesy. There you go.
Geodesy. Geodesy.
Geodesy, that's how you pronounce. Well, you got them pronouncing properly there.
No, I'm just
Geodesy.
saying
That's what
geodesy.
they say. Okay.
So go ahead, brother. So you found the verse in Genesis that
Hmm.
talks about the seven.
It's actually not Genesis. It's Isaiah 11,
No, we're not.
15.
No, no,
No,
nope,
no, no, no,
nope,
no, no, no. We
nope,
said
nope.
Genesis. You
Not
said he
not
said
doing
show us.
that.
You said it was in Genesis.
Yeah, not doing
Hold
that, yo.
on.
No, nope,
Hold on.
nope. Now go to Genesis where it talks about uh the Garden of Eden, bro. That's what we're doing. We're not doing the add on after
You
that.
asked me what do you ask me about the Euphrates? The Euphrates talking about 7 streams. You asked me that. I'll go to the Garden of Eden one. I'm gonna read this one first. King James. And the Lord, right? Yahuwah, actually, and Yahuwah shall utterly destroy the tongue of the Mitzrayim sea, and with his mighty wind shall he shake his hand over the river, and shall smite it in the seven
No,
streams,
man, wait, yo. We say
and
go to
make men
Genesis,
go over dry shod. Smite it in the 7 streams.
bro.
So
We're not
letting
doing,
you know,
bro. Stop it. Go to the Book of Genesis. We're not doing that. It was only the first 5 books, yo. Knock it off. Come on, yo. We know our religious studies around here. It's called the Torah. That's first, the first 5 books.
yeah, but there's also the
No, I
Tanakh.
don't want to hit a but. No, God only gave us the first 5. Remember
Wrong.
Moses, the
That's
5.
wrong. That's
We're not
actually wrong.
doing after that. We're doing Torah right now. We're going to the
We
Garden of
we
Eden.
doing what I say we doing. We're not doing what you say we doing. So don't try to grandstand me right now. You asked me about the Euphrates, so
No,
I'm
I didn't
telling you
ask
about
you
it.
to. No, I
Okay,
asked you to
stop,
go
stop,
to the
stop,
book
stop,
of Genesis,
stop,
right,
stop,
and
stop, bro.
talk about the Garden of Eden. And it tells you it. We're looking for a locale of the Garden of Eden. We're not looking for that mythical. It's first of all, the whole thing is mythical, right? But we're talking about the first 5 books. Genesis,
Well, you
Bereshit,
talking
bro.
about that? You talking about that? Don't
That's what. Well,
say
was I not the
we.
one talking? Was
You
I not
talking
the one?
about that?
Was I not the one talking? So, according to the book of Genesis, where God creates the heaven and the earth, where is the Garden of Eden, bro? Where was humans created at, bro? You get me off my point. Let me focus in on you because I see you funny. So I was trying for me to gear it up a little bit. So where does the Bible say the Garden of Eden is? It's definitely outside of Africa. My point was, which you tried to make me forget, my point was that the Bible talks about Southerners, Northerners, and the Semites. So it's talking about people going into Africa, bro. That's what the biblical narrative is talking about. And I'm saying your
Mm-hmm.
whole narrative is based off the biblical narrative, which is the first 5 books with the flood and all that. The flood occurs in the book of Genesis. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to tell you that ancient cultures had no idea about ice sheets and ice ages and water melting back into the oceans, raising the levels and flooding out populations. So they gave a spooky ghost understanding of it, bro. I'm saying it's 2022. We're not doing that for the babies. Now, I'm not knocking you for your beliefs, but I am telling you that they had no idea that the earth actually traveled around the sun because it's caught in the earth's gravitational field. They didn't know about gravity, bro. They didn't know about none of that. You're taking us back to a time period where they were ignorant of these things. I'm not knocking them for it, but they were slap ignorant of it. Simple as that. This is the time period where these stories are written when man had no idea where they didn't even know it was Africa, bro. Like the outer Africa theory, like you don't even start to even act like humans all come from the same place. Okay, humans come from the same place, bro.
No, they
You,
don't.
you okay? I tell you what you do right now on cue. Don't talk me to death. I don't want to hear about the conversation with the shaman in Africa and the guy from North America. Show me an archaeological site of Homo sapien bones older than outside of Africa, yo. Go ahead,
It's
bro.
called
If you don't, do you
Pleist-
have that? I'm gonna ask you the
Pleistocene
question.
man. Go look up Pleistocene man.
I'm gonna ask you right
Pleistocene
now,
man.
bro. I'm gonna ask you the question. Can you pull up on the screen the oldest bones on planet Earth outside of Africa that's older than the bones in Africa? Don't talk me to
Pleistocene
death. I
man.
don't want to hear no terms. Give us the selection that you're talking about. We want the scientific article on that, bro. You on the clock because you didn't spook me out. I almost felt like I started looking around for ghosts or something. Can I get the scientific article? All jokes aside, do you have that, brother? Do you have those
It's called
bones?
Pleistocene man.
Pull it up.
Pleistocene man. Anybody could look it up on their own time.
No,
It's
I'm
called
asking you right now.
Pleistocene
No,
man.
we got time.
Yeah, we
Now,
got
because you
time.
Man, you
asking me,
talking about the Plotocene, bro. Who you think you're
yeah,
talking to?
my
That's
time
the
is actually
geological
running out,
time.
so I'm gonna get to what you said. I
Here's
dropped,
the you said Plotocene man.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
the
Where
time.
Pleistocene man.
where
Pleistocene
Okay,
man. That
pull it up.
means that means that man's over 1 million years old, and it's a
That's fine.
fully anatomical modern human outside of so-called Africa, older than any full human bones
Yeah,
found in Africa.
yeah.
The only way
Nice
you're
try,
gonna go
buddy.
older than that is if you go to Forbidden
Pliocene.
Archaeology
Hey,
by
Doc,
Michael
spell it for
Kimo.
me. The Pliocene. P
here it
I
is.
E.
Here it is right here. Here it is right here. Let me just
Spell
put
it
it
so I
on
can
the
look at it.
screen. This is what he's talking about,
I need to
family.
see it though.
Yeah, Corey Mayo did a whole video on
I'm
that.
not listening to that. I need to pull it up, Doc, so I can beat the brakes off. Oh, okay, I see it, Doc. Hold on, man.
You can't beat the
God
brakes off of that because all of the archaeologists confirmed that it was real and it couldn't have been faked.
damn. You make it
That
up. I
that
got you,
was a
bro.
fully fossilized skeleton, right, or a skull, I think it was,
Uh,
and it was, yeah, and he was full Homo sapien, none
uh,
of that ape stuff, full human, 1 million years ago. That
humans
kills
are
the out of
apes, though,
Africa
bro. None of
theory.
that ape stuff. What do you mean?
What I'm saying is,
What do you mean? Humans are
pe-
apes. What are you
no,
talking about?
no, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're
The
not.
humans
No, they're
are
not.
apes.
No, they're not. Slavs are apes. Yeah, the pale skin people. Yeah, they're half ape, but I don't come from no
Hey,
ape,
you're an
so
ape,
don't
bro.
put that on me.
You are no, I didn't say that.
Okay,
Humans
well,
don't come
then
from
I'm
apes.
a human and
Humans
I'm not
are
an ape,
apes.
so don't
You're
don't
an
put
ape.
that on me.
You're definitely an ape.
Anyways,
You're an ape.
Genesis 2:10, right? And the river went out of Eden. River went out of Eden. You're not saying where Eden is at, right? It says the river went out of Eden, a river, to the water, to water the garden, and from thence it was parted, and it became into four heads. The name of the first is Pison, that is, which encompasses the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold. The gold of the land that is good. There is bdellium and the onyx stone. And the name of the second river is Gihon. The same is that encompasses the whole land of Cush. It says Ethiopia, but the correct word is Cush. So the river Gihon encompasses Cush, what people are calling Africa today. It doesn't say, I'm going to read the very last one. And the name of the third river is Hiddekel, that is, which goes forth toward the east of Assyria. And the fourth river is Euphrates. It never says anything about the exact location of where
It
Eden is
just
at.
said it encompasses the Tigris, Euphrates River, and Guyana
That's a
and
river.
Leon. What are you
Pison,
talking
right? The
about?
Gihon River is a river that goes out of Eden. It's not even. It's a
Okay,
river
so if
that
it's
goes
going
out.
out of Eden, what about the Tigris, Euphrates? What are you doing right now?
The Tigris is the Hiddekel.
The Tigris and Euphrates is in Mesopotamia. What are you saying?
Okay,
You
Mesopotamia.
gotta
Listen,
stop
listen
this,
to what
bro.
I'm telling you. Mesopotamia is the
What?
east coast. Listen,
Nah, no. Come on, Doc, yo.
Mesopotamia
Come
Mesopotamia is the east coast of North America between the Mississippi
Hey,
and
bro,
the
how old are you, bro?
Atlantic
Hey, yo,
Ocean.
how old are you,
Listen,
man? All right, let's do this. Where the plow scene man at? Where that source at, yo? Stop playing. That I was gonna forget. Stop it.
I got
Come
like
on.
5 minutes. I
Where's
gave y'all
that?
all the sources.
No,
Y'all can
bro, you
sit
didn't.
here and y'all can clown all you want. I don't come
Bro,
here for that.
bro,
I gave you the sources.
I'm asking
Don't
for the
play
plow
games.
scene, man. I know what the plow scene is, yo.
You
It
got a
go to
computer like I
2.5
do.
million,
She just
2.8
looked it up.
million
She
years, yo.
just
What
looked
are
it
you
up.
talking about?
She
Where's
just
the
looked it
plow
up.
scene, man, yo? What are you talking about, bro?
Listen, if
It's
you
2
want to
million
see,
500, 800
listen,
years,
listen
bro.
what I'm
What you
telling you. If you want to see an in
no, no,
detail
no.
video about it,
A what?
Curry Mayo Ahau did an entire video
No,
on it
bro.
where
No,
he
he
used
didn't.
all of the
No, he
sources
didn't.
and he
What's his
proved
name?
that the
Come on,
Pleistocene
what's his
met
name? What's his
Curry
name?
Mayo Ahau. And
Hold
he
on. What's his
also
name?
proved Curry
Bro,
Mayo,
slow down. Hold on, stop. Say it again. Go ahead, spell it.
K-U-R-I-M-E-O.
K-U-R. Hold on. K-U-R-I. Go ahead. M-E-O. What
And his
else?
last name is Ahau, A-H-U-A.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And he
Oh,
also has tons of videos that prove
oh,
that so-called
man.
African Americans they didn't come from Africa
Oh,
because
man. No, you didn't, yo.
of course I did.
Oh, man.
Share your screen, brother. Share your screen,
ah, ah, ah,
brother.
ah,
Share your screen. I'm muting you for laughing, brother. Share your screen. I
Immature.
mean, right? You being immature, brother. Share your screen. All right, go ahead, brother. Share
Can't
your
help me,
screen.
yo.
Share your
This is
screen, brother.
I can't even find the guy. The guy he do YouTube videos.
Of
We
course.
don't even start our learning on YouTube, bro.
Oh, he
You can
doesn't have
learn
it.
from anywhere.
He doesn't have any published articles, brother, or
No,
anything.
no, he got a YouTube. Goodness, come on, let me hold on. It is no way, bro. It is no way, man.
It's a new day. There's new information out there.
It's a new
Forget it.
day.
The old Afrocentric stuff has been
Oh,
debunked.
now you on the Afrocentric stuff, yo.
Oh yeah, Afrocentric has been
Yo, how
debunked.
about just the scientific stuff, yo? How about that?
Yeah, the science has debunked it.
How about what you talking about is trash? Since you want
Okay,
to
how about this?
since you want
How
to
about
dub
Albert Perry?
African-centered thinking, you're speaking in terms of garbage. What you're talking about is trash and
All
garbage,
right.
bro.
Well,
So
what
don't
about
knock
Albert
the
Perry?
scientific
What about
community
Albert
and
Perry,
don't knock the
whose
African
Y
scientific
gene
community.
traces
And by the way, it's 2022 and you
336,000
sitting up
years?
on a live broadcast with a red hat on your head. You're out of place, bro. They don't wear those anymore. Take
Yeah,
that
they
back
do
to
actually. They wear these
568.
a lot of
You
places. They
bugging.
wear these in
No,
the
it's
place
not.
that you
No, no.
think that you from.
See,
The Dogons, the Dogons, they
you're
wear this.
disrespecting African scholars, right?
You a clown, man.
Afrocentric
You a
stuff.
clown.
I don't appreciate that.
I'm done,
Right?
done, done talking to
We
you. You a
follow
clowner.
scientific
I'd
innovations
rather
around here,
talk to the
bro.
sister
So I'm gonna
because
ask you
she
one
got
more
some
time.
respect and
Like
some
you talk us
maturity.
to death. Can you give us a
Nah, bro.
scientific paper of a Holocene man, which is actually an age that goes to
All right, bro.
280 million? It starts at 2,880 years ago, bro. There is
All
no
right,
Homo
all right.
sapiens
Hold on,
sapiens
bro.
at 280 million. Matter of fact, I wrote
That's
a
because you
book
believe in
called
all of
The
that. You
Chronology of
believe
Human
in Darwin
Evolution,
and all
bro.
of that. But the ancient people, they never believed in nothing like that.
Of
But
course they didn't.
because they were smart. That's
Because
why.
they didn't go nowhere to believe in nothing because they was
You
going to
don't know
they
that.
had the
You don't know
ghosts in their
that. You
head,
don't know
bro.
that. You don't know that. Ancient man was well traveled. They circumnavigated the earth.
All
Come on,
right.
stop. Please
Okay, bro.
stop.
So you're
Please.
not gonna give us a
Please
source.
stop.
We got you. We see
Hold
the
on.
game you're playing.
The
You're
Phoenicians
limited,
was the
bro.
most
I'm
the
not mad at
Phoenicians was the most well traveled
you.
people
I'm
ever
not mad
known
at
in
you, bro. You're
history.
just limited in
And they
what
were
you
from America. Stop.
I'm not
But
mad at you, bro. You
The,
see
but
the
you
game.
said,
man.
I just want to make sure you just said the Phoenicians were from America.
Yeah, they were from the
Just say it.
westernmost part of America.
Yeah,
And they
say
got
it, bro.
exiled to North Africa
Yeah.
and Western Europe, where they formed what we know of today as the British, the Scottish, and the Irish.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
you're
brother,
right.
I do appreciate you coming on the platform
Thank you,
and,
sis.
and sharing your views.
Thank
I
you.
know that there's disagreements, but
Of course.
at the end of the day, you have your views. I have my views. Brother Ankh
Right.
has his views. So I do thank you for coming on. Do you have any closing words, brother, for the listening audience? And family, we're not going anywhere. Brother Ankh and I are going to unpack this. So we're not going anywhere. But I wanted the brother to, because he said he only had 5 minutes left. And so
Yeah.
I wanted him to say his closing words before he headed out. You have the
Yeah.
floor, brother.
اطلبوا
Bananas.
العلم من المهدي إلى اللحد. That's an Arabic proverb that means seek knowledge from the cradle to the grave. Open
All
your
right.
cup. Open
Open
your
your.
mind. There's more information out there. You don't gotta stay stuck on Kemet. It's not the oldest civilization. They even said the Atlanteans was older than them.
The
But
who?
the Atlanteans,
Yo, you've lost your cotton picking
I didn't lose
brain at this
anything.
point, yo.
I didn't lose
You didn't
anything
went from the
because they got
Atlanteans
old
to the
maps.
flat earth. This is not a conversation.
For immature people like you, yeah, I know. And as my
Yeah, you took it
closing,
right,
as
right
my
out my
closing
mouth.
stuff, she asked
Yo,
me to
you're right.
speak.
You're right,
Yeah,
yo.
so
Go
please
ahead,
be
brother. I
quiet. Thank you.
apologize.
Thank you,
You're
clown.
right.
Thank you.
You're right. Go ahead, brother.
So,
Did you just call me a clown?
Come
yeah,
on,
yeah, yeah,
come
because
on,
that's what
brothers.
you asked.
Come on,
No,
bro.
no,
Come
no.
on,
You know I
brother.
can take it, Doc.
No, come on, brothers.
He's the
Let's
only
move on.
guy
Because
with
you
the
asking,
dunce
like,
hat on
she
his head,
asked
though,
me for
Doc.
closing words, and then you're going to interrupt
Yes,
me and start
yeah,
talking.
brother. Og, let
But
him
you
let him
got
do
my
because
fault. You got the dunce hat on your head with the thing hanging off of it. My fault. I'm sorry. I'm
That they
brother.
mad
wear,
Og,
that
at you
you
the
talk
dunce.
about African culture,
Dunce
but
hat.
the Dogon priests, they
It's
wear
a
this,
dunce
so they
hat.
look like clowns
Dogon
too?
priest ain't wearing no fezzes. Knock it off.
All right,
all right.
bro.
Okay.
I'm
Okay,
not.
brother. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Og,
all
I gotta mute you, bro. Og, I had to
right.
mute you. Okay, brother. Finish your closing words.
All
You said
right.
seek knowledge. We're listening.
uh, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Peace and blessings and the mercy of Allah be upon everyone. Peace and love.
Peace and love, brother. You
A
take care.
salami and
Salam.
bacon, brother.
You know what, Og? I can't with you. I can't. I can't with you. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat. You all are. I just. Boy, the brothers, man, that testosterone is something else. Goodness, you be like, hey, I could do. It's like, calm down.
He
Like,
do the shots. Our African-centered thought and all that. Like, we ain't doing that.
all right, brother. All
Come on, I'm
right.
not knocking him. He hit me with the all that's out the door. That Afrocentric. Man, that's scientific. That's not has nothing to do with Afrocentricity and none of that. That's actually the established facts in the scientific community.
Absolutely. I can agree with you more.
Objective truth that no matter where you go, Homo sapiens sapiens starts out in Africa. No matter where you go on planet Earth, no matter he gives you a time period, the Palestine. That's an epic,
I just
epoch,
All
the
right, so I just
Palestine
dropped
epoch.
okay, well, I just dropped the link in the chat for some people that wanted to come in and comment. I see brother Lionel and brother Alquan is in the building. Scriptures in the building. So I see Alquan came in. I just asked that you all keep your comments respectful. We'll be on for another 5 minutes and we're going to head on out. Brother Alquan, you had the floor.
Oh, hey, how
Al-
you doing?
Peace and love to you, brother. How are you?
Oh, hey, long time no hear from.
I'm right here, man. Chilling.
Yeah, yeah, but I ain't gonna go there tonight. I'm gonna go there with the guy that just left. I mean, they do a disservice with real information or verifiable information with all this kookiness, this Moorish world stuff. I mean, it's this science stuff. I mean, it's not science. It's insanity. I mean, to say that Canaan was on the west coast of America, America is Egypt. I could go there and just destroy it in one line, but I'm gonna save it for one of their big wigs one day. But the guy has to prove these things, not just say these things. And the Fez, everything that they do is of the Ottoman Empire, Turkish. They shout Islam, but they don't practice Islam. They're not Muslims. They're Muslims. So, it's all Freemasonry. This is hokey pokey, spooky, kooky stuff. And I'm glad he was dismissed. But I mean, we got to stop dealing with these Moorish science people. And the same thing goes for that Taharka Bey character at the same time. People like him, they're despicable. And I think I like to throw down with some of these people too myself because I could tear them up. So,
Well, brother, reach out to me, inbox me, and I'll line some stuff up for you.
all right, what's your inbox you? Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
here, what I'll do is drop my email address in the chat, so you reach out to me and we can connect that way. So I'm dropping my email address in the chat. There you go, brother.
All right. So
Appreciate you.
all right,
Go,
I'll step off then.
no, go ahead, go ahead. I thought you getting ready to say something else. Go ahead, brother. You have the floor.
Oh no, okay. I just want to say all these groups. I like dealing with reality, not the phony stuff, not the Moorish stuff, not the Hebrew. Even though I think out of all the kooky or fringe groups, I think the Hebrew Israelites can better prove what they say more than these other groups. The Moorish stuff, Nation of Islam, these people are totally fraudulent and phony. They can't prove a thing. Period. I'm
At
done.
least the Hebrews got a book though, huh?
Yeah, that's the other thing. A lot of people keep thinking that the Nation of Islam and the Moorish Science Temple are Muslims. They're not Muslims. They don't practice al-Islam. They don't follow the Quran. They follow Message to the Black Man. That's what they follow. They follow the holy, the Circle 7 Quran. These are fake books, supplemental fake Islam. That's why they call it Islam as taught by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And they don't call it al-Islam. That's why it's not called the Nation of al-Islam. So, I mean, I could tear them up, but that's enough for right now.
All right, brother. Well, I appreciate you coming on and giving us your views on it, sharing your views and giving us your comments. I'm gonna bring brother Lionel on. Brother Lionel, peace and love to you, brother. How are you? You have the floor.
All right. Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up, Aunt?
What's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
Oh man, I'm doing all right. You recognize me, right?
Yeah, you got down. What you got on your head?
But I'm gonna say what the Honorable Runoko Rashidi said to just sum up my thoughts on it. He said there are people who believe that the earth is flat, Haile Selassie is somehow still alive, and that Jesus is waiting in heaven for all of us. And I mean, a lot of these groups are honestly, like in my opinion, the liberation theology without any practice. So if you liberation theology without even practice, you wasting black people's time, period. Like, I mean, it's all about theory and practice if you want to change the situation for black people. Theory and practice, nothing else. And a lot of these these groups out here, they liberation theology with no practice.
Mm.
Hey, Adrian,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
what did you got on, yo?
It's called a Palestinian. It's called a, it's called the Palestinian kafaya.
Yo, I thought you had on like a Parker, yo, like in Baltimore. You know how you
He's a brother. I can't with you tonight, brother. I'm meeting you. I'm meeting you again, brother Lionel. Thank you so much. I see brother Scriptures in the building. Baba
stop playing,
Emotep,
Adrian, yo, stop it, yo, knock it
brother,
off.
brother. I'm bringing in brother Scripture. Brother Scripture, go ahead and say.
Peace, Dr. Maat. Peace, Aunt. Peace,
Peace, King.
Adrian.
Peace, King. Peace, King.
Yo, I don't know what we just witnessed, but this is what happens when you take all the information that you learned and the things that you've heard and you mold it in one and you don't have a proper methodology and a proper research method. You wind up with a person like him who says that Mesopotamia was on the west coast, the east coast of America. Are you kidding me? The Mississippi River is the Euphrates. Are you kidding me? This is what happens. This is what happens when you allow cult leaders to get a hold of young, impressionable minds that have not actually researched anything.
Say
You
that
took
again.
all the religions.
Hold on. No, Scripture. That was powerful. Say that again. That this is what happens when cult leaders get a hold of him. Say that one more time.
This is what happens when cult leaders get a hold of impressionable minds, young, impressionable minds.
Mm. All I saw Scripture was an identity crisis.
That's
I said,
all I
this is
saw.
when you get stripped from a thorough knowledge of self, this is what happens. You literally suffer from an identity crisis. That's what I saw. I mean, peace to the brother, not to speak ill about him, but his handle had Egyptian and Arabic mix, and then he mentioned Egyptian, Paleo
Paleo
American, and then
American. Huh?
that's an identity crisis. That's an identity
Hey,
crisis.
you know what? I think Sean in the chat room is going through identity crisis. I ain't forgot about you, Sean. You still believing in aliens and promoting coup de Moutoir with the whole alien thing, but you ain't denounced that yet. I see you, Sean. I see you. You can call me, you don't gotta call me Unc, call me Bobby, Banger, whatever it is. But I'm telling you, yo, until you step up, all right, like a Mossy Clan warrior and say the aliens and Kuda Mutras a bunch of nonsense, bro, I'm on your head. Step up, bro. I don't need to have no methodology with that. As soon as you start talking about Pickle Man and aliens and all that nonsense that Bobby Hemmington was teaching you, nothing about what we do is that, bro. I'm not trying head. And yeah, Sean, yeah, you chatty patty in the chat, right? Come on here and explain to us why we should follow coup de Moutoir, okay? The reptilians. Yeah, do that while you chatty patty in the chatty. I just want
Brother
to
Scripture.
shout them
So
out for that.
all right. So, brother Scripture, go ahead and finish your thoughts, brother, because I need to pass the mic on over to Baba Emotep.
Yeah, and I was just gonna finish up by saying this is why channels like Dagger Squad, Yours, Pseudo Killers, and Science with Sean, Kofi Pie, all these channels are crucial because we gotta help our people. Wow, because that was horrible.
Yeah, it was. It was.
I
I mean,
I feel
it was.
sorry for that young man.
Yeah, and it was really bad, and it was very disheartening, to be honest. Like, I know we talked and we
Yes,
joked a little bit, but this is serious. And he's,
yes,
and to be honest with you, it's a lot of people out there like him. I just had another young brother Unc, and I was talking to another young brother a few days ago, and he was saying, I'm an Indian. I'm an
Yeah, the
Indian.
Christian guy.
Yeah, then another person came on. I'm an Israelite, and I just said, "Wow, we really suffer from these. This is just what you. This is what you see is an identity crisis. So you got different
Hmm.
people. I'm this. I'm that. I'm this. I'm that. And this is what happened when you strip a people from thorough knowledge of self. You don't know.
Hmm.
It's a lot of confusion, mental disorder, mental chaos. And so I want to go ahead and pass the mic to my big brother, Baba Imhotep. Baba Imhotep, go ahead and unmute your mic, Baba.
Peace, sister, Mama, Dr. Maat, Brother Unc, and everybody that's on there. Peace and blessings. So I had the opportunity to listen to the show as always. I make a habit try to tune in on Thursdays, check y'all out. But only piece I would like to add for anybody that's still out there that's listening is for African people. I think that we should even stop saying that what Europeans mean by God is the same thing we mean by Netta or Netra. We're not saying the same thing. What Islam mean by Allah is not what we mean when we say Netra, Inyame, Chukwu, Oludamare. We're not saying the same thing because we come from two different cultural centers. So to keep trying to make that correlation, what it does, it kind of subordinates us because we're using them as the starting point to say, if we say, well, Netta is God, it's just in meta Netta. We make them the starting point and it harms us, it undermines us. No, Netra or Netra is what we saw and how we understood it. That's our relationship with the universe and how we conceived it. It has nothing to do with what they think. And I think that's how we should move going forward. You know what I'm saying? What the Jews mean by Jehovah, if they use Jehovah or Yahweh, what the anyone that's practicing Islam mean by Allah, anyone that's practicing Christianity, what they mean by God, is not what our ancestors meant when we conceived of a supreme divinity, if you want to use that terminology. So I would just like to bring it in. Dr. Jacob Carruthers has a very good book that he put out, Essays in Ancient Egyptian Studies. And if you go in that book, he clearly explains that the Neteru are not gods. You know, the Europeans were the ones who began to try to interpret our stuff. And the best they could do is make our stuff interpreted out of their stuff. They used their stuff as the model to interpret us. It's our task to reclaim our own stuff and reinterpret it from the position of our ancestors. That's why we got to have a strong cultural grounding. So I just want to share that with anyone that may still be listening. I think y'all did a great job handling it, brother Dr. Maat and brother Unc, as always. Continue the great work. I appreciate it. And Unc, if you can, someone asked the question. They wanted to know where they can get the free class on astronomy at. If you got that, put that up there for them, please.
Okay, yeah. You can go to shoot, man. It's called one second. Hey, while we at it though, man, I want Religious Beliefs Revisited, man, by Kofi Pasa research team. Brother Chavis, yo, this is what I'm starting to read now. All right.
Yeah.
Read this, man. I appreciate the young brother, man, for putting it together, man. Yep. I'm on this now. All right, I'm cracking it. I'm seeing what you got, Chavis. I'm on it, man. I test back to you. But yeah, the name of the thing is called, goodness gracious. Shoot, come on, Doc. What's the name? Oh, it's on my phone. I got the app.
Well, while you looking for it, I just want to say
Corsair.
What is it?
Corsair.
Oh, Coursera. Oh, Coursera. Oh, I always say.
Oh man, the hardest class. Yeah, y'all, you go ahead with that. Like, go ahead and buckle up, put your Timbs on, get your coffee, get some rest, and dig into that course. That's a serious. That's not the old. I'm gonna run through it. No. By the time you finish with that, you be like, man, that was powerful about our natural surroundings, man. That's a serious one right there. So it's just a study though, Doc. And the study actually helps us verify where we are in the world. Like today we use scientific cosmology, and it absolutely identifies where we are in the world. And it's important. Our ancestors laid the foundation for cosmological studies, and we further that. And we talk to the class about that today, how important their role is in STEM and how we stand on the shoulders of our ancestors. So you won't come out saying all of that mixed up, mixing cultures. Cultures are a beautiful thing. And cultures are separated for reasons. We don't have to bring them together. They have their own identity. They have their own identifying factors. They have their own deification processes. Some trees might be valuable to certain communities because it's the oldest ancestor in the community. It has brought fruit and food and substance to the community for eons, so far back that they don't even know. So you deify that thing. You deify certain rivers has brought fish and food and substance to the community. So it's a deified thing. So each culture, based off the geographical regions, actually put forth their cosmology. It was the Europeans that came in and said, "Yeah, this is that, that's that, this," and now, thank goodness that the anthropological studies, and we always use anthropology books, right? This is a simple one. Thank goodness they're starting to really go in and give equal and due respect to African religions and cosmologies, and this is a good start for me on that. So yeah, Kofi Pasa research team, man, get with this. A lot of books, a lot of good works. All right,
That's good. That's good, because there's been a lot of craziness going around lately. Like a lot of Negroes are saying that indigenous North Africans were white. That kind of insanity has to stop.
White?
Oh,
No, it's just North Africans. A whole different. I mean, that there's a variety. That they
well,
range from
the indigenous.
The reason North, can you hear me, Dr. Maat?
I hear you, Baba.
The reason North Africa is primarily pale is because of invasions.
Right.
That's why you got primarily pale people in North Africa. However, for a point of clarity, African people can come light. All African people are not always dark. The majority of us are dark, but that high, massive paleness that we see running across North Africa, that is principally from invasions
and slavery too.
I mean, well, skin tones range.
I said massive. They do range. So I know. So we got a lot of scholars that prove that we range, and I know we produce from the darkest to the lightest. I'm in agreement with that. But I'm saying right now, if you look at North Africa, from Egypt all the way over to Morocco, it's totally whited out. And saying historically that high concentration of lightness in Africa is linked to the invasion, because when you go there, when you engage with those people, even most of them will tell you where their ancestors come from. They identify outside of Africa, and you listen to them, the language, the culture, the dress. You can just see that there's a different cultural influence there.
Well, a lot of the dress is actually indigenous African.
Yeah, that's indigenous African. I agree that the culture is different, but that indigenous African with that lighter skin, that's an indigenous African. We're the most, our genes are so diverse. I think our minds have been informed and instructed by racism, white supremacy. Remember, they created the races, the 5 races, the 3 races, Mongoloid, Caucasoid, Negroid, and it was 2 more. Matter of fact, they had 5, some had 10, some had 25. And it's not to the works of Charles Darwin and Albert Churchwood that humans start to kind of get out of that thing of thinking, of not understanding how diverse we are. So remember, we had the big lips and big noses, but that's not that doesn't necessarily range true for all Africans, and that's not the peppercorn hair. That's not necessarily true for all Africans. We have we have the most diverse population, and the Sudan has the most extensive diverse population anywhere on planet Earth.
That's what they claim, but I don't buy that.
So that's fine. The scientific data pans out that we are the most diverse people. Now the African Americans are even more diverse. Think about that. We've been here for 250 years. Look at our genes. That doesn't mean that we're not African.
You got black people out here who are Polish, like Michi X, and people are saying that she's a champion of black justice.
Oh my God, Baba Haru.
Anybody can champion. I don't have a problem with any people champion our cause. Not at all. I'm not going to be that guy stuck in the corner. I don't need your help. That's nonsense. It's a bunch of crap. And anybody that's fighting for the truth and the upliftment of black people, they're welcome. We're smart enough.
So she could be
Baba. Wait a minute, Baba.
Let me make my point. Let me finish. We're smart enough to know who to align ourselves with. We're just not stupid. We're not gophers. We can do what all humans do. Humans from time periods to time periods choose different partners, different business partners, as long as they keep their thing intact and know what it is that they want out of the relationship. And we're smart enough to do that. So I'm not doing that game. But go ahead.
Okay, so she could be a Polish black leader, is what you're saying.
A Polish black lady, if she leading people to something that makes some sense and work, then what's wrong with that?
Well, I mean, we
Like,
don't know where she's leading us to right now.
I'm just saying we're smart enough to know if you're making sense about what you're doing, right? Like a black leader, like we're talking about black witches. Are we talking about leaders in general, or we're talking about specifically designated black leaders for our community?
We're talking about Michi X, self-appointed, or not even really self-appointed. She was promoted sector of a black leader, a Polish
like talking
lady.
about the sisters, man. I'm not gonna get on the Michi X.
Well, that's the thing. We got to figure out. We got to figure out if that. We got to figure out if that's a sister to begin with, though. See.
Hold on. Who appointed her a leader?
Yeah,
a lot of people.
How many? Michi, I don't know. Did you ever look at a genetic
Boyce
profile?
Watkins in particular.
No, have you looked at her profile though?
Well, she's half Polish and half black.
What does her ancestry have to do with anything?
Hold on.
Huh?
No such thing. No such thing. You made that up. There's no genetic profile that says that. There's a thing called recombinant DNA. Like your thing shuffles. For instance, you can have two sisters to take a DNA test. One can have 10% French and one can have 0% French.
French is a nationality, not a race.
They're Gaul, but
there is no race. It's just the African.
So what's this DNA all about?
Over generations. What?
If there ain't no race, what's this DNA all about then?
Frederick Douglass was mixed.
Genetics.
All right, so hold on. Let me, brothers. We going way off, y'all. We getting way off, y'all. So we get ready to close out. I appreciate all of you brothers coming on the platform to come and give your opinions on what's going on, brother Scripture, brother Lionel, brother Alquan, and brother Arkaket. I'm gonna let you close us out. Brother Ark, with the closing words, brother.
Yeah, make sure you get to work. What SARS 2 taught me. All right, that's a book written by Brother Sean, and that's a great book. For the community. And we support that work. We don't support the aliens, Sean, but we support that work. Scientific work, scientific sources. We support that. I appreciate it. I've had a great day today, Doc. I've gotten a chance to actually educate people. I got a chance to let my hair down when I came on here today, because when I'm in your class, I'm like this. I got to be like that.
It's just professionalism. That's all.
Yeah, I'm working on it because I'm sloppy sometimes, but you've given me the chance to actually, nourish that aspect of my game. I can waddle with bums and dine with kings, and I appreciate you giving me that opportunity. And I appreciate the critiques you give me, the professional critiques. I really appreciate that, and I just want the world to know that you're in my corner and you got my back, looking out for the black man. That's very, very important. The show was a good show. I put some sources in there. I put some resources in there. Dr. Maat has garnished this idea of just bringing the everyday, the Joes versus the pros.
I love it though. I love it.
I love the conversation.
It gives us an opportunity to see, instead of just always bringing on people who specialize in in certain fields. It's just hearing the everyday person. What are you thinking? What do you believe? What do you follow? What do you subscribe to? What are your ideas? What are your beliefs? And then kind of unpacking that. And so I do appreciate you, Brother Ankh, for coming on. And even brother, you've been on several times. Brother Garfield comes on whenever I call you all to have these discussions, because I also believe, because there's really a lot of brothers who, I'm going back and forth with them on IG. And so I like to have brothers with me when this conversation is, when this conversation is taking place. So I don't, so I say, well, this brother want to talk about it. Let me go call brother Uncle or brother Garfield or another brother. Let me get these brothers involved. And so anyway, I do appreciate you, you coming in today to speak to my class. And then, like you said, coming back on for almost 2 hours to address the young brother who was on. Family, what you saw tonight was you saw an identity crisis, the identity crisis that is prevalent in our community. You saw what happens when you're stripped of knowledge of self. You saw what happens when you're miseducated. As Brother Scripture said, when cult leaders get a hold, I love what he said, that when cult leaders get a hold of impressionable minds. That's what we saw tonight. And it's no disrespect to the brother if he's watching. But that's what we saw tonight, family. So it's important that we unlearn, relearn, and then learn. Okay. We need to unlearn, relearn, and learn. All right, family. And so thank you so much for tuning in. Peace to everyone in the chat. Hold on, brother. Pierre Black. Yeah, Pierre Black, Anusha, real truth and power. I see that everything is in the building. Africa Great. My brother Sean P is in the building. I saw you, A Beautiful Mind, New Black World Order. Peace to everybody. Melissa, I saw you in the building, Queen. I'm trying to think, is there anybody I missed? I mentioned Ty Lackey earlier. Is there anyone I missed? I'm trying to look. Zane, brother Rasta Man. I see you in the building. Queen Cheetah. Oh my goodness, Queen, you had me cracking up. Thank you so much for tuning in. And peace. Brother Jehudi Ma'at, my little brother. Brother Jehudi Ma'at, peace to you. All right. And so I appreciate you all tuning in. Brother Ankh and I may be going live again. I'm not sure if we will. Today is Thursday, so we may go live either Friday or Saturday. I'll definitely be live on Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the Read Book Club. We're reading chapter 3 of The Color of Money. All right, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday, or I may go live tomorrow or Saturday, depending on who says what on IG. Thank you so much for tuning in, family. Peace and Black Power.